back to our channel.
Yeah.
This is a video about how to give yourself injections if you're doing them for fertility treatment.
Just ways we've used, ways we've found that have helped us manage.
So this is not intended as medical advice. You obviously have your doctor and everybody helping you set up your protocol and giving you instructions on what to do. This is more to help with the process and the emotions around having injections every day and how to support your partner through something like that as well.
Support's a big one.
Yeah. If you do get some use out of this video, maybe you get some extra tips, make sure you subscribe to us because we are sharing our infertility story online. So make sure you subscribe, follow us on social media, and hopefully one day we'll have some good news to share with you.
And then you guys can have your own good news.
So we have had to think about all the things that have helped us through doing literally hundreds and hundreds of injections, and we've come up with sort of 6 things that we think can help, whether you're new to giving injections or whether you're just looking for more ways to support your partner with it. Yes.
Yeah. Step 1, be involved. And from a guy's perspective, that can be, whilst we can't have the injections, it's about helping and supporting on this journey.
Don't say journey. We're not saying infertility journey anymore. Because everybody says that, and it is a journey, but it's also like...
I like story.
Yeah, it is a story because a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yeah. Yes.
Infertility has to end at some point. I suppose a journey does too, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. And we are in this together, so...
Yeah, I would say as well that there's amazing women who do fertility treatment on their own, and probably guys in a sense as well, and they're amazing if you're on your own, and I would hope that they would have somebody, even if it's not a partner, somebody who is a support person to them.
Support network, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully there's one person that you can rely on, and I think regardless of what your situation is, if you're going through fertility treatment, just having a person that can be supportive to you is really helpful. So if you're that person, there's a lot of tips that we want to share with you, because it's actually a big job and you really want to involve yourself in that process. And yeah, so I don't know, how do you involve yourself?
Well, it can be as simple as getting to know the protocol. Getting to know the protocol from the doctors and nurses that is for us as a partner.
Which means that you actually really should try to go to the doctor's appointments.
That's a good place to start.
I know, just actually go along. I think sometimes people think that because it's a doctor's appointment that you shouldn't go, but it's you're going as a couple or as a team or as a support network. So if you can
make it to most appointments.
Yeah,
it actually helps. Obviously, understanding the whole process as well.
Yeah, you haven't come to every single one. Sometimes that doesn't work out.
Especially right now.
Yeah, it seems like a silly thing to even suggest, but sometimes people don't realise that actually to be involved with supporting that person through their fertility treatment means like actually offering to go, because quite often I think people will be like, oh no, you don't have to come, but to be like, no, I'd really like to be there. So going to the doctor's appointments and just saying that you want to be there for the injections.
Well, you enjoy having me there.
Yeah, well,
I don't really do much. I'm literally just...
Oh, you do enough.
I'm literally just there.
Yeah, well, I mean, just having... That's what support is, isn't it? Just having somebody there for you. And I think oftentimes people are like trying to be private or whatever, but if that's your person who's helping you through your fertility treatment, then you want them to be there. So just even if someone says, oh no, you don't have to come, like just continually offering to be there. Even
to go and pick up the meds.
Yeah.
Being involved.
Like offer and say, can I go to the pharmacy and get your medication for you? Like often people
just stay at home, stay comfortable.
Yeah.
Rest. Yeah.
So yeah, involve yourself and definitely keep asking the patients like what they want you to do, because I think it can change as well depending on how she's feeling and how she's feeling that day. She might want you to be involved or not. So just involve yourself. Actually be proactive in saying I'm part of this and I want to help with this. It's kind of like if your partner was giving birth and they were actually in the delivery room, you would be there supporting the process.
I'll be there.
I hope so. You'd be there supporting the process, so you can start from right now. Start if you're going to be that support person right through to the birth of the baby, then it starts now, especially, you know, if you're not lucky enough to be able to go and just have sex to have a baby.
Yeah.
But even if you were, you'd be there, right? You'd be involved. You'd be doing it.
Still have sex, but it's just a baby out the end. What?
Be involved.
Too much?
Be involved.
Just be involved, yeah.
Yeah. That was step 1.
Step 2 is all about creating a plan, and this can be as simple as getting to know a little more about your partner's private cycles.
Private cycle. What are you talking about, John?
I don't know, that monthly thing that goes on that most guys stick their head in the sand about.
Oh my God. Yeah, if you're going to try and have a baby, you probably need to know a little bit about your partner's period. You might even want to say the word out loud. Oh my God. So yeah, once you've been to the doctor, you'll get a protocol, you'll get a plan for your cycle, and with fertility treatment, the woman's cycle has to do with when you start taking the medications. Right. So knowing roughly when your partner thinks she's going to start her period is actually important.
And that's a good time for you to move it. No, sorry, not move out. No, you guys, you're going to learn more about obviously day 1, and this is something that I've learned.
I actually didn't know about like the days, what they were numbered.
That is this full flow.
Day 1 of her period is when she has what?
Full flow.
Full flow. And this is an important day in fertility treatment because that's when you start your protocol. You wait for your period to come, and then that's when you start. Unless you're doing some kind of medicated cycle or you don't get periods or whatever, that's much more complicated. But normally day 1, you call the doctor and you let them know. But in terms of you as a couple, having a rough idea about when the cycle's going to take place, because you might want to look at your schedule and be like, okay, well, you know, one of you's going to be away for work or something like that. And it's kind of, if you're going to do it together, then you need to choose a time when you're both going to be available.
It makes it hard if she's not here and we're doing a cycle too.
Yeah, because
she's not here.
You need my belly to do it.
And after we've done it so many times too, we can sort of roughly work out how long that cycle's going to go and when these days are going to happen. I know you just you guesstimate when your day 1's going to be, and then potentially when your first injection is going to be.
Yeah, and my retrieval.
And your retrieval. That's right. Yeah.
And it seems, again, just like an obvious thing, but actually talking to your partner about it, actually asking, hey, when do you think we're going to be doing the cycle? Because you have to plan around it. You might have to plan your work around it or travel and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So just sharing out, put it in the calendar. Some people like to have a shared calendar.
That's what we do.
So that, like, you know, they can see roughly when it's... And here's the thing as well. You can put in roughly the dates that you think it's going to be, but... it always changes.
Yeah, we haven't really nailed one yet.
No, but roughly means that we can kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
So just having a bit of a plan in place for that, and then when day 1 actually comes, then let your partner know, and then you might need to adjust those dates in your diary.
I will say, guys, you may already know.
What does that mean?
But not know. Just saying.
You're so funny. Anyway, periods. So yeah, once you've got your day 1, you'll call the doctor and let them know that you're starting your protocol. Yeah. And then depending on what your protocol says, you usually start injecting on maybe day 2. And so you'll adjust the dates in your schedule. And then the injections, you can usually choose what time of the day you want to give them. So as long as you're doing the same time every day, so you might look at your calendar and be like, okay, I'm working until this time, so let's do them at 7:30 or whatever, so that you can actually be there to help with the injections as much as possible. So work that out together.
I like to set alarms just in case. Like you've got a lot on, we've got a lot on, so sometimes in the morning it'll just go off and you go, oh, geez, we were a little distracted or something was going on, or basically Laura does put it off.
Yeah, I'm surprised at how often. I mean, it's because we're up to like hundreds and hundreds of injections by now, but I'm surprised how often we do like forget sometimes. So having the alarm is really important, and that's one of the ways that you really help me, is that he takes care of the alarm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes and gets ice pack and everything ready, and he just comes in and throws the ice pack at my head.
It was just one time.
I hate it when
That one time.
when I hear you coming and I'm like, oh
You
no.
didn't catch it.
He's coming for the injection. It's time. I'm such
See, here's the fridge. Or freezer, here's the freezer, here's me open up the box, and here's me pull the injection out, and it's just like...
And I must admit...
I think she fakes that she's asleep sometimes. She's looking out one eye. But...
I must admit, I am a bit of a sook about it. I mean, it really does hurt, and especially when you're like me and you've done cycle after cycle back to back, and your poor tummy gets a bit sore and there's bruises everywhere, and it does hurt. But then, by the same token, I would say it doesn't hurt. Like, you might be surprised at how small the needles are and how much it doesn't hurt, unless it does. Some days
it's just
it hurts.
repetition, and some days
Some days it hurts more than others. Some days I don't feel it at all, and some days I'm really brave. But some days you kind of have to push me through it a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway.
You got to kick them through the goalposts.
That sounds
really
really...
good analogy? No.
That sounds really caring. So that would be step 2, is create a plan with your partner, work out what your schedule's going to be, and then when day 1 comes, check it all again and make sure you've got the plan, because you'll also know when you've got to put in your scans and blood tests. So work it out together, because you might be able to make a schedule that works for both of you. Obviously, it's most important that it works for the one doing the treatment, because I have to be there, but as much as you can be there, you like to be there.
I like to be there. It's very interesting.
Step 2, create a plan.
Create a plan. Step 3, calming yourself, calming your partner. It seems pretty simple, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah, it is actually. We made it a whole step in our process, because giving yourself an injection, especially at the start, or giving your partner an injection, it's a big deal. Like, it's not easy. It's a strange thing to do. So just calming yourself down, especially if you are the support person, like going away and taking a deep breath.
There are so many other things going on as well. You're running a household, you're working, you just took a phone call, you just answered an email, and you've got to come together and do this relatively stressful thing, and you don't want to bring any other stress with you. So even if that means the pair of you take a few minutes apart, have a feed, have a drink, have a stretch, just take in a couple of big breaths, and when you actually come together, it's a good time to get through this part of the story.
Yeah, but just being calm, especially if one of you is affected by hormones and might not be as calm as you usually are. The support person...
I don't know who that is, but it's just...
The support person can play a big role in helping to keep things calm, and make sure, maybe that you've got kids around you that you need to put in front of the TV or something, so you're not distracted, and just make it a calm environment for your injections.
Step 4, get ready to inject. And that's, we're just preparing our area to have this injection.
Getting all the stuff you need and just getting everything clean and ready, and clearing a space. So the first part of that would be just wash your hands.
Yeah, that's an important place to start. You can use gloves if you want, though that just adds to the environment, landfill, and we're not into that. So we like to wash our hands 30 seconds with the soap, and then we're on to our area.
Let's be nice and simple.
Alright.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And then we'll go straight into clearing our area. Let's just keep this succinct, because there's a lot of steps to this. And they're pretty boring, like they know what we mean by washing your hands. Yeah. Okay.
Step 4. Getting
Ready to inject.
Step 4. Get ready to inject. So we're all about preparing our area and getting yourself ready for this injection.
Getting all the stuff you need, making sure everything's clean and ready to do it. So the first part of that would be just to wash your hands.
Yep. You can use gloves if you want, but that just adds to landfill, and we're all about reducing that. So wash your hands. Wash your hands before every injection.
Yeah. And you want to make sure that you've got a nice clear area to put everything in, especially at the start. We don't do this so much anymore now that we're
Yeah.
professionals.
I remember you used to wipe down the areas.
Yeah, but I mean, particularly at the start, you want to just make sure you've laid everything out carefully,
Yeah.
got everything in front of you so that you can just make sure that you're doing everything right. So clearing a nice spot on the table, it doesn't have paper and dishes all over it, so you've got somewhere to work.
Cats. Get rid of the cat.
Yeah, we used to lock him in the bathroom. He's allowed to come out now, but
He's grown up a little bit.
at the start I was like, get that cat away from me.
Yeah,
Trying to concentrate.
You didn't handle it.
But anyway, cleared the table.
Yeah, we've cleared the area, and now it's to the paperwork, the protocol, and it's a good idea to bounce off each other and just check that medication, check the amount,
Yeah.
check the way that you're meant to give it, check the time that you're meant to give it,
Yeah.
and obviously you make sure the right person's getting the injection too.
Yeah, that's what you do on the ambulance,
That's
isn't
it,
it?
that's right.
Even if you know what the medication is, or you do it all the time, you do it every day, just checking again and again. And John actually does this kind of annoying thing where especially hundreds of injections in, and I don't recommend this if you're giving injections for the first few cycles, but he always says the wrong amount of medication just to annoy me. But it does mean we check it. It means we go, like he says, 300 when it's 150.
Or I'll say the wrong medication, and I'll normally get the stink eye.
So annoying. But it does make us laugh.
But then she goes, no, it's this much and it's this medication. I went, right on.
You're so annoying. But, he thinks it's funny. He laughs. I laugh.
I laugh, Laura. Yeah. Laura
So yeah, check it and check it again. Because, one time I did actually give myself the wrong medication. I gave myself the evening medication in the morning.
Yeah, I remember that phone call. That was interesting.
Yeah, that really freaked me
A
out.
little stress.
If that does happen to you, don't get so stressed out. Just
Yeah.
get in touch with your doctor as soon as you can. It usually doesn't mean that the cycle's been ruined. It usually doesn't mean that you're in any danger. It just means the doctor needs to have a look at it. You might have to go in for an extra scan.
And what they did was you just topped up, I think, and had the
Yeah.
actual injection you were meant to have. So.
Yeah. Trigger shots, you want to get them more on exactly the right time, but the everyday medication. That said, always check with your doctor if you make a mistake. They might get you in to do another scan or do another blood test just to make sure. But yeah, don't get so freaked out because it's usually not the end of the world.
No.
It's not worth crying
Definitely
over.
not.
It's not worth
Yeah.
crying over it, says the girl who cried over it. Well, I was mostly crying because I had to give myself an extra injection that day.
Yeah.
Sucked. Okay, so check your paperwork. Just
Yeah.
check it again.
Just check it again. And
Especially
then-
if you're the support person. That's
Yeah.
kind of what you're there for. That's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got preparing the actual medications. So if we give you an example of the medications we use, you potentially are going to have very different ones. They're either going to be using syringes or there's even this pen.
Fancy
Fancy
This
pen.
is my favourite one.
This is the one that sort of Laura likes, and that's
Yeah, 'cause
that's
it's just
actually
it's got like cartridges in that you just put in and they're all
the actual cap goes on the
reset up.
end.
And then you just dial up the right amount of medication. So those ones are really easy, but sometimes you also have some that you have to mix yourself.
Yeah, and some, if you ever look at this one's the Menopur, and it comes in a pack like this, and there's the solution, you've got the needle, everything's included, and then you've got a vial with the powder in it. So just putting that together prior to that, and
Again, that's another really good thing that the support person can do.
yes,
If you are the partner, and then get a little vial like that.
it ends up like that.
Yeah.
So this will last you, how many times is it? Is there 300 of this?
Yeah.
Only kidding. So she'll get 4 injections out of this. So this is 4 days.
Yeah. Obviously, your doctor or your nurse or your pharmacist will show you your particular protocol, so we won't go into any details about that because that's what you'll get from your doctor. Make sure you get them to just explain it at your pace. Make sure that, if you want them to repeat something, if you want to take notes, if you want to even...
You video it.
Yeah, I videoed a pharmacist once just when I was really nervous about it. Because I was, at the start, I was a little bit nervous. It all seemed a bit overwhelming. It's obviously super easy now and I could do it in my sleep now. But at the start, you just want to make sure that you're feeling comfortable and make sure that both of you feel comfortable.
I made a mistake right at the start. But I think it was the first cycle
Yeah.
with our doctor, and Yeah, I understood what the pharmacist was telling us about the injections.
Because he's a paramedic.
And I was just like, yeah, I just wanted out of there. And I get in the car and Laura's like, what just happened?
Yeah, it was too fast for me because I don't work in a medical.
Yeah. I went, oh, don't worry about it. Hang on. No,
and it's
very
important. It's important for both of you to know because some days he's not there and I have to do it myself. Other days, he's injected me while I've been pretty much half asleep, which was very nice because I was tired. But, you know, making sure both of you know because you are a team in this, you're doing it together.
Yeah.
So. One of the other things that I learned was about alcohol swabs. So quite often they give you these, and it's all just about keeping everything sterile.
Yeah.
With the subcutaneous injections, which means you're injecting into the fat.
Body fat, yeah. Which is a normal layer for people, by the way.
It's normal to have some fat around your tummy. Actually, the more you have, the better, because if you've got to put lots of injections in there, you want a little bit of padding.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, these, with subcutaneous, you don't have to stress so much about the alcohol wipes, but you may as well. It's good practice. And the tip that I learned was you've got to wipe everything that gets pricked.
Yeah.
So
that vial that we made up before.
Because you put the needle in the top of there, so you might just wipe the top of it just to clean it before you put the needle in, and then on your tummy you can just wipe it as well and let it dry because the alcohol can sting a little bit if you inject straight away. So just give it like 30 seconds to dry.
It's a chance to kill out all the bugs as well if there are any bugs.
Yeah. And then something that a lot of people like to do. Well, first of all, you've got to let her choose the spot that you want to inject on.
Yeah, guys, don't go choosing the area.
I'm very picky about this because I'm on to like literally I've had I don't know how many hundreds of injections just this year. My poor tummy has a few bruises on it. It's also got old bruises, so I like to really just choose the spot that's got the least pinpricks and bruises on it. And then I put the ice on that.
You like to do, because we do 2 injections of an evening, and you like to do them both on one side.
Yeah, and then go to the other side so that it's...
There's a bit of a rest.
Giving each side a rest each day. And then, icing. Icing is the best bit. So, being a paramedic, Jon had never iced before an injection before because he's working in an emergency situation.
You don't sort of get time to ice someone's shoulder to give them a jab.
But this is different to that. This is not the ambulance. But I like to take an extra, like 5 minutes just to put the ice in there and really let that numb the area. Other people like to use numbing creams and things like that and put the numbing cream on there. Some people like to use nothing at all. For me, it's all about the ice. So I get a really cold ice block and I just sit it on there for a good 5 minutes. Usually I'm icing while Jon's getting the medications ready and drawing up the needles and things like that. That's really all the preparation bit.
Yep.
Just take the time to make sure everything's prepared, double check the protocol, make sure you've got all your meds laid out, everything like that.
Yep. Wash your hands. Yep. Everything's clean and sterile.
And if you're the partner, if you're the one helping out, this is a really big way that you can help. Because honestly, having an injection every day kind of gets a bit annoying. So having someone there who can just help mixing up the meds and doing it every day, that's really helpful.
Yeah, and that's step 4.
Step 5.
Step 5.
Injecting. So this is my favourite step.
Yeah. And guys, I just like to take a few moments to connect. And I think that's an important part of this actual injecting ritual that we have. An extra 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
To just
taking some time to actually, like, the nice thing, I guess, about injections with IVF is that you're doing them every day. So it becomes like a habit, like a ritual. And it's not a nice thing to look forward to. So if there's any way that you can make it a nice thing to look forward to, in that you take a moment to, like, chat with your partner, ask how they're going. Connect.
Not going to be a holiday, but it's just, it's something.
I was thinking about this. I actually like changing babies' nappies, which I know is really weird, but like, even though it's a gross thing to have to do, it's a moment where you actually can connect with the baby and just spend a couple of minutes just, playing with them and and connecting. And I think it's important for your relationship as well, especially when you're going through a stressful experience like IVF, just to take that time. And it's nice to have kind of like a ritual.
Yeah. Taking a bit of time for each other, and this is a good time to You're trying to avoid the injection, I'm trying to get it done. We just sort of meet in the middle.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. I tend to stall a little bit. Like, I'll just want to chat all day, but it's really because I just don't really want to have the injection.
Yeah.
Still, even like 600 injections later, I still find myself doing that. So it's important as well, if you're the support person, to sometimes be like, all right, let's get this done, shall we?
Yeah. Time waits for nobody.
Yeah, because you actually do need to do your injections on time as well. You can't just leave it for an hour, but go before you're ready. Put the ice pack on and just take the next step. Take the needle out, prepare things, just take the next step, and eventually
it's done.
It'll be time. And when it's time, well, I guess the first thing you want to do is kind of get in a good position.
Yeah, it can be standing or sitting. Laura lies down.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Everyone has different ways that they like to do it. Sitting down is good.
We've done it on the couch.
That sounds rude. Done it in bed. We've done it in public bathrooms.
Yeah.
We've done it in the car.
You can take that however you want.
Do it in the car. We've done it. Where is the weirdest place we've done it? We did it at a restaurant table once.
Yeah.
We were just hoping.
Done it on an aeroplane.
We're hoping nobody was looking.
Yeah.
That's so great. Okay, but your injections. So get in a good position, because if you're the partner who's giving the injection, you want to make sure that you can actually reach properly and that you're kind of steady and you're not going to slip or anything like that. To get it a good position.
And I like to pinch sometimes, and yes, sort of not a favourite.
Well, no, it's a good idea to pinch the skin because you want it to be taut. So Jon will pinch some little belly fat there, and then you've got a nice firm surface to inject into.
I like to keep holding it, but Laura's quick to brush my hand away.
Yeah, once it's in, I don't really want to be pinching anymore. But before it goes in, it's kind of like, I had trouble with this at the start because I would try and be gentle and push it in softly so it wouldn't hurt less. Tenting?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, like when you're pushing in and the skin doesn't break.
They call it tenting?
Yeah.
Who does?
Well, just everyone.
I don't think they do.
You know how to tent when you put it in.
It's opposite to a tent. It's more like it's like
upside down.
It's like a balloon. Tenting is something else. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is like a balloon.
It's like
Balloon's
a balloon.
better.
If you're trying to inject into a balloon and you just press in softly, it's just not going to break through. You're not going to be able to pop it. But if you want to pop it, you've got to apply some force. And it's kind of like that with the needles as well. It's way worse when you've got a needle, especially one where the needle's a little bit thicker or it's not quite as sharp, and you're pushing and you're not breaking the skin, and so you have to go again and again. I did that a few times at the start, and that's not fun. You're actually better off to go in with a little bit of force, kind of like when you throw a dart into a dartboard. It's not going to stick unless there's a bit of force behind it.
And you were putting it in, and then a little bit more, and you end up injecting yourself 43 times before you actually got in.
So you've got to actually be brave, hold the skin taut, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I even have to kind of I count to 3, but go on 2.
Yeah.
You got to kind of go before you're ready, and holding the skin taut and just applying that pressure. Once it breaks the skin, you're good. That's the hardest part over. So just break that skin. Ow.
Yeah.
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 You're good at that. But then once you're in, you're not very good at the next bit because
I'm all about getting the job done.
I don't like when he's pinching and the needle's in. I don't want you to pinch anymore. Stop pinching me. So I quite often you'll be injecting.
You'll feel the hand come
and I'm
over.
just pushing his hand away. I'm stop pinching.
Yeah.
Needle's in. And then the next bit is to just push the fluid in. So obviously.
And you like that slowly?
I like that very slowly. Again, we're not in an emergency situation, in an ambulance. So just take your time.
Get it done.
I'm no. Because the other thing is because I have some bruises and some old bruises under the surface, if you're pushing in too fast, then the fluid can just hurt a little bit. So just push it in really gently and slowly. Yeah. So after you've pushed all the fluid in.
After you push it, it's a good time to just sit there for a few seconds and actually let that.
Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah, just let that take.
Let the fluid go in, because if you pull the needle out too fast, then sometimes the liquid can come out again.
You end up losing a little bit, but it's a small amount.
It's not a big deal, but if you hold the needle in there for 5, just count to 5, and then you're ready to pull it out. You just pull it out in the same direction that it went in, just nice and gently.
Yep. And then basically it comes down to find a safe place for them after.
So you're disposing of all the needles and putting them away.
Step 6. Celebrate.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's your first injection or your 700.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. Fertility treatment is not a lot of fun and it's stressful and there's hard parts to it. But it's also a huge achievement whenever you take any step with this. Just giving yourself one injection is something to be proud of, and so you should celebrate that with your partner and yeah.
I think it's important. There's so many different parts to this puzzle, and if you can relish everyone, then
yeah. So when you do give your injection, just having little rituals or little things that you do, like just for a start, just saying thank you, like thank you for giving me.
It's a good start.
Thank you for giving me my injection.
Yeah. In our situation, I like to say that because we wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for my situation. So
yeah, and just acknowledging like you're so brave, and whatever it is, and maybe your partner likes. However they like to be appreciated, you can appreciate them that way.
Yeah.
Maybe a hug or a kiss, or even you could have like a treat, like a piece of chocolate or something. Probably better to do if you're on your first cycle and you haven't done so many. Maybe if you're up to your 700th injection, you don't want to have a piece of chocolate every single time. So that'd be a lot of chocolate. Although I could eat that much chocolate.
Yeah. You do have your moments.
Yeah, but just celebrate, because there's so many crappy parts to this process. Anything that goes well, an injection, the fact that you've done it is something worth celebrating.
Yeah, that's a positive.
So celebrate with your partner, especially if you are the support person or the partner. Think of ways to make it fun, think of ways to connect, think of ways to celebrate and congratulate each other on just getting through it, because it's hard, but you should be proud every day.
Yeah.
The thing about IVF injections is you have to do them every day. So if you can somehow make it something that you can almost look forward to, I know that sounds strange, but if you do something sweet with each other or something fun, even if it's just making each other laugh, it can make it something to look forward to as a moment of kind of presence with each other, rather than as
togetherness, something.
rather than something you have to dread every day. So that's why doing it together is so great. I should add as well that you can absolutely do this by yourself, and there are amazing women who do this by themselves. I've done it by myself plenty of times, but even then, you want to celebrate. You want to just acknowledge the fact that,
you're a powerhouse.
And I'm awesome for doing that. And hopefully you have a support person, whether it's your partner or somebody else, who can just celebrate the fact that you're brave enough to do this.
Nice work.
So those are our tips for doing your injections. Obviously you'll combine that with tips that you get from your doctors and nurses as well for all the specifics of how to do your meds, but those are our tips to sort of help with just keeping your morale up and looking after your relationship as you go through fertility treatment. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe and follow us, because we are sharing our journey through fertility.
There's buttons and stuff that you need to press.
Yeah, press the buttons. And follow along with what is happening with us with Infertility, and hopefully we'll have some good news to share eventually.
Yeah.
Alright, see you later, everyone.
See ya.
Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down,